You are listening to a podcast by Hope Bible Church Niagara. We are located in St. Catharines, Ontario, and you can join us on Sunday mornings at 8:45 and 11 a.m. You are loved. Welcome back to the Hope Niagara podcast. My name is Hannah, and I am your host, and I am joined here today by Nikki. And so Nikki is the director. Director is the right term. Director of Clarity Pregnancy Options in Welland and all over Niagara. But she's going to come and just share a little bit about Clarity and about herself and the work the Lord has done in her and the ministry. And so why don't you start off by telling us a bit about you and how you came to know Christ and then how you stepped into this ministry role?
Sure. Yeah, so I grew up in a great Christian home and from a very young age was always taught the ways of God and the things that he cares about. And that also meant being involved as a teenager in the pro-life movement. And all through high school, faithfully attending church, went to a Christian school. And then when I was 18, I actually moved away to Bible school. And when I was at Bible school, I would say in some way for the first time, I really began to understand the heart of God. And just the idea of what sovereignty means. It's not a distant, removed thing. And he truly cared about the pain that I went through. And his heart for me was something that I finally learned. And so during that season, came to really know him in a personal way. And then when I came home, I actually enrolled at Brock for psychology. I wanted to get involved in making a difference in people's lives. I had actually been enrolled in hair school before that, dropped out, went to Bible school, and then minored in political science and very quickly dropped psychology. And my intention was to get involved in the pro-life movement on a political level. In my final year of university, someone who worked at the pregnancy center let me know that there was a position open and she really thought I should apply for it. So I did. And a month or two later, I started. So that was late 2013, early 2014. And very quickly learned that though my feelings of injustice were right, regarding abortion and all that entailed, I really was missing the grace and the heart and just the desire to minister to people in that position. And so really quickly got rerouted out of a desire to kind of do that legislation or that policy piece and really just developed a deep heart for people in that position. And so I've been there since. I've worked at a few different pregnancy centers or pro-life ministries. And in 2021, following my maternity leave, came back as executive director. So in that time, Clarity went through a big season of transition, branding, really trying to find who we were and how we could best love women who were considering abortion. So we did a big rebrand and since then, things have just changed astronomically. So we launched a couple new locations. So our main office is in Welland, but we also have Niagara Falls and St. Catharines. And then we also are in the process of developing medical services. So Lord willing, this time next year, we will be able to be doing ultrasounds. With a heart that every woman would see the life growing inside of her before she makes that decision. So our vision as an organization ultimately is for women and men to value life and then ultimately to know and experience the love and truth of Jesus Christ. And so that's saturated in everything we do. It's just completely ingrained in our ministry.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's really cool to hear, the Lord using that, your desire for that more political side of it and kind of turning it more towards now, this is a ministry and what the Lord's heart is for this and all of that. And so, you kind of touched a little bit on the end there about what is the vision and the mission of Clarity, but can you give us a little more, what's your team like? What do you guys do on a day-to-day basis and everything like that? What Clarity does?
I could brag on my team all day. I have the best team in the world. For our director, we're always told to hire up, hire better than you. And we certainly have. So we have an amazing team and so unified and well-rounded. It's been really cool to see God shaping unique roles over the past couple of years. And I find that we've really hit that sweet spot of who God wants us to be.
Yeah.
So on a day-to-day basis, we have 6 team members. We're actually hiring right now. A position closes today, but looking forward to who God's going to bring to our team. But the purpose really each day is to open our doors and to submit to presenting true information with grace, right? And so specifically in the Christian community, we often get asked, like, why do you share about abortion, right? Like, it shouldn't be an option. And while, we agree that abortion shouldn't be an option, at the end of the day, it is. And so our heart is that no woman would make that choice based on the misconceptions that she learns. And if we don't tell her the truth in love, then she's left to what she's learned at school or her doctor or media or culture or whatever it may be. And that's not the truth. And so we want to make sure she walks out and never comes back and says, I didn't know.
Yep.
So we go through their options. We do a pregnancy test. We go through their options. And our goal in that appointment is really just to find out what are the circumstances that are pressuring her to choose abortion. Because we say to them, never make a permanent decision like abortion based on temporary circumstances, right? Circumstances change, abortion cannot. And so whether it's finances or education, so much of it is something that can be helped, right? And it can seem insurmountable. We always say we make big promises we can't keep if it weren't for God's people, right? They show up, whether it's baby showers or, finances or housing, they show up. And so we want her to make sure that she's aware of all of those things that exist. If she chooses abortion, we're very clear before she comes in that we're a pro-life center and we won't encourage or facilitate or refer in any way, shape, or form participate in her decision for an abortion. But we always say to her, our doors never close. And we've had so many women come back, either having changed their mind before the abortion decision or in a future pregnancy and say, like, I know you're still a safe place for me to figure this out. And so that's kind of the abortion piece. We do post-abortion counseling as well. And then for those who make the decision to carry to term, whether it's for adoption or for parenting themselves, we do prenatal education and life skill programs. We do a hot meal. And our hope is really for them to build a relationship, but also to be speaking power and truth and God's love into their life, while also simultaneously equipping them so that this child's entering a healthy home.
Yeah.
If they have other stuff going on, whether it's domestic violence or housing or finances, education, we can step into all of those realms. We have a lot of connections that we've made over the years to really help. But ultimately, we just want to slow them down, right? Like, don't worry about what's happening in 9 months. Let's focus on today. What are the things that we need to tackle today?
Yeah.
And so that's really where our name came out of, right? Is clarity, is to help them just slow down, pause, and see clearly about their circumstances, because there's so much chaos and confusion. And we have the opportunity to be the calm in the midst of the storm.
Yeah. Okay.
And so since we kind of did that relaunch a couple years ago, we over tripled our clientele. So last year we served just under 296 women and men.
Wow.
In Niagara. So,
yeah. Wow, that is amazing. I love that. Like, the name is coming from like bringing that clarity to these women and bringing them the truth and love. Like, that is really powerful. I did not know that's why it was called that, but I love that. And so I think, that's just really cool.
Yeah. And then the second piece of our name is also super intentional. So we're pregnancy options. And we're not pregnancy care. We're not pregnancy support. And that really comes from trying to enter the mind of a woman considering abortion. She's not looking for pregnancy support. She's actually looking for a way out.
Yep.
And so while we do help those clients who maybe are in a hard pregnancy and need help, our primary audience, the one we really want to step in every way for, is the woman who's looking for a way out.
Yeah.
So
that doesn't immediately like turn someone away.
Yeah.
Who are like really the people who need to come through your doors.
Yeah.
Wow, that's super cool.
Yeah. So of all the women we intaked last year, over 70% of them were looking for abortion. Okay. So we really are finding that target.
Wow.
The people who really identify and relate and need our services.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. That's wow. That's so cool. What do you believe, like, because you yourself are a Christian, and so I'm sure like so much of this comes out of strong conviction for like, this is what the Lord has asked me to do. And so what do you believe to be like a Christian's role and calling in pro-life ministry to be, like, narrow it down to pro-life ministry, I guess?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many different avenues that people can get involved. I do believe, I might be biased, but I do believe that life is that one thing that everyone needs to care about, right? There's a lot of ministries that are so deserving of time, right? Like you think of like homeless outreach and, maybe fostering and all of these things. And they matter so deeply, but not everyone's called to be fully involved in every single facet.
Yeah.
But life is the start of everything that Jesus cares about, right?
Yeah.
Like we are made in his image, and nothing else is, right? Like we are so precious to him, and it impacts everything, right?
Yeah.
Like the value of life is something that saturates every other possible ministry we could get in, right? Because we're trying to speak value and worth and God's identity to people. So there's a lot of different avenues, some people might get involved in more education arms, others might get involved more in the ministry arm. And I think one of the beautiful things is that they all work together, right? There's that pastoral shepherding piece, but then there also might be, more of the preaching education piece.
Yeah.
And so I think that there's various ways for the believer. Not every person needs to specifically go be at a pregnancy center.
Yeah.
But I always say, like, our role is not necessarily to give financially, to give of time, to give of talent, though I would be remiss if I didn't say that matters. Wouldn't be doing my job that well. But our role is to be having an influence in our sphere. I can't go talk to your friends. I can't go talk to your family, your school, your church. I can't be all things, or our staff or our board can't be all things, but you can have an influence where you are. And so the role of the believer is to have courage and to speak up and to promote life and to be consistent in their promotion of life.
Yeah.
Right. When I talk with youth groups a lot, I'll say to them, like, it's not just being available if someone at your school gets pregnant. It's not gossiping, not being a bully, so that you're setting yourself up to be a safe person that can be turned to.
Yeah.
Your influence in the pro-life movement starts way before any unexpected pregnancy. And so as believers, it's about building up. It's about encouraging and speaking God's truth and love, and having the courage when you hear people degrading or gossiping about situations, or even being so far as if you're in school and stuff like that, hearing people, or in the workforce, hearing people talk about, pro-choice, pro-life, all of that, but having the courage to say something. Yeah. Our job at Clarity is a lot easier when the church is the church, right? Yeah. And so the more these kinds of things are happening behind the scenes, the easier it is for us to say to a woman, the church will be there for you. We promise. And for them to actually believe it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I think in a large way, that is the role of the quote unquote, like, average believer. Yeah. But there might be a lot more people who feel called to more, right? Yeah. So whether that's, our church does baby showers, our desire at Clarity is that baby showers would essentially help us lose the client to the church. Yeah. Right? Yeah. The church is where ongoing discipleship, community, all of those things need to happen. Yeah. So maybe it's that. Maybe it's, we do hot meals for our clients on Wednesdays at our prenatal program. Maybe it's signing up to do that. Or, we have a phone line available around the clock, because women make a decision within around 48 to 72 hours of finding out they're pregnant. Right. So weekends don't really work for us. Yeah. And so we have volunteers who are trained just to give staff a break, and they take the phone lines on the weekends. Yeah. And so there's lots of different ways, and it might not be Clarity. It could be, if you're more local somewhere else. But I would say, to pray about those things, but then just at the very base, commit to having the courage to say something. Yeah.
Wow. Right? Yeah, that is so important. Like, that is a call that is on every Christian, right? Like, like you said, like, might not be in everybody's calling to volunteer there, or like go out and do these things, like physically, or give of their money, but we all have a responsibility, like as believers, to like stand up for and protect what the Lord has created, and like it's the start of all things. And
it's not just babies, right? That's the thing that's really important too. Like, there's a lot of accusations that are lobbed against believers and all of that, and we don't need to get in the mud on that, but it's about being consistent all the way through, right? So valuing people who disagree with you, right?
Yeah.
Really hard, really hard when they disagree politically or spiritually, but like dialoguing with respect, regardless of those things, and being consistent. You know, the adage is, you know, from womb to tomb, right? So from conception to natural death, but, you know, speaking honor and dignity and worth into seniors and all of those things so that they see consistency, right? These are all pieces and they seem very disconnected, but you know, if I have a friend come and let's say is an unexpected pregnancy, but she knows that, you know, maybe I did cards for seniors or took my son to, you know, go to an old folks home or something, like they see that consistency that I actually truly care about humanity, about God's people. Yeah. And so, that consistency really matters.
Yeah, no, that is such a good point. Yeah. Just that care for people, not just this, like, not just here and then we're done and I've done my piece, right? Like I wipe my hands down, right? Yeah. But yeah, that deep care. And so, yeah. If people who are listening to this, they are like, I do feel like I want to get involved with Clarity, or where can they find you? How can they help? Like what are some ways they could get involved, or like what's your website? Well, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So our website's claritypregnancy.ca. That would also redirect to clarityevents.ca for our like baby showers, fundraisers, that kind of thing. But we send out an e-blast at 8 a.m. on the 1st of every month. And in that e-blast, there's a prayer calendar. And that prayer calendar is not, you know, these, you know, lofty prayer requests. It's actually for clients we're serving. So, you know, actually today is probably praying for the podcast recording. But, you know, tomorrow might be praying for a girl named Caitlin who is struggling with a broken relationship and 8 months pregnant, right? Like these are actually real girls that need our prayers. Yeah. And so that would be a big thing, is partnering with us in prayer, storming the gates and interceding for our clients. Baby showers are a really big one. Ultimately, yes, we're helping them with their financial needs, but the heart there really is for them to see that the church is for them, not against them. Yeah. That they're a safe place. So, you know, some churches do showers collectively, but other churches do it within small groups. Yeah. Or in another parachurch sense. And so our heart is to lose the client and for her to have walked through the doors on maybe a Wednesday night and see, you know, friendly faces that she could come meet on a Sunday morning. Yeah. Right. So that's a big one. We are in need of volunteers right now. Like I said, you know, we had our volunteer appreciation last week and we asked people how long they were serving. And a lot of our volunteers have been serving 7, 8, 9, 10 years, which is crazy. Yeah. Really speaks to our center, which I'm so proud of, but, we do have a need for more. So whether it's, you know, we're open late 2 nights a week, so that partners, boyfriends, husbands can get involved, not lose work, or that women can stay in school and come. But we need multiple people in the building, and with a limited budget, we can't do that. So, you know, we have volunteers come in the evenings. We have them on our phone lines. We have them cooking. We have fundraising volunteers. Those would definitely be some very tangible ways to get involved. Yeah. And then, you know, I'm assuming a lot of people listening are from our church community, but if they're not, we love just being able to partner with new churches. And, you know, in a lot of ways, churches think they're for us, right? They help us financially or they help us with our material needs. But statistically, there's a higher abortion rate in the church than outside of the church. And so, on average, 1 in 4 women in the general population have an abortion, and it's estimated to be 1 in 3 in the church. Okay, yeah. And that's heartbreaking. Yeah. And so as much as the church is for us, our partnerships really seek to remind the church that we're here for them too. Yeah, absolutely. Whether it's post-abortion counseling or someone in that position. And so if, you know, you're from a local church and you want to get involved with Clarity, that heart for us to help you is there as well. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing those ways for people to get involved, and just for coming on and sharing about you and about Clarity and just the important work and how God is moving in that ministry. And this has just been such an encouragement to me. And I think we had one of those baby showers here last year, and I know like lots of women who were there were just like a mess the whole time, like just seeing the Lord like move in that place and hearing the testimonies of the couples that were there, and just such an encouragement, and so cool to see how God
is working in Niagara, and I'm sure in lots of other ministries, you know, across the country as well. But yeah, we're just so thankful for you and for coming on to speak and share, and just being willing. And so,
Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity.
Yeah, of course. And so thank you so much for watching, and wherever you're watching or listening, make sure that you are subscribed, and you can follow us on Instagram at Hope Niagara, and I will catch you guys in the next episode.